To lead us in our prayer tonight is Kingdom School Chaplain Father Curtis Hecker.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Almighty God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, we thank you for the gift of this day, and we thank you for each of these young athletes that you brought here. We ask you to bless them, to allow them to play with the true spirit of sportsmanship. That what they do tonight on this court will truly be for your honor and glory, and draw each of them closer to you as they return the gifts and talents back to you that you have bestowed upon them. And we ask all of this as we pray in the words that you have taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Our Lady of Mount Carmel, Father Kapaun, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem, played by the Kingdom of Mount Carmel.
And now it's time to introduce tonight's starting lineups. First up from the visitors, from Wichita South High, is number 455 junior guard 10, Zion Butler. Plays number 4 for the home team, Kapaun, 5'4" junior guard number 2, Tilly Jones. Next up from the Titans, 5'3" sophomore guard number 14.
Hello and welcome to Kapaun Mount Carmel, home of your Crusaders. And tonight we will see the Lady Crusaders face off against the South High Titans. Be an exciting matchup as Kapaun comes in 8-5 and South comes in with an impressive record of 10-3. Now, Andrew, what are you looking forward to most about tonight's game?
I'm just looking for a very exciting offensive battle. KMC's main scorers, Sophia Gimino and Lizzie Romer. I'm looking for a good game from them tonight. And then South, KMC has already played them this season, and they lost. But we're looking for a big win here tonight to even out the record.
Exactly right. And Andrew, I got a chance to talk to Coach Graff before the game, and he told me that the only team remaining on Cape Mount Carmel's schedule, that is a threat to them, someone who can beat them, is Cape Mount Carmel themselves. So we'll see how that plays here tonight, as you're definitely going to have to work out some kinks, but we'll see what they can do. Starting out here, let's see, that's Tilly Jones at the point. We have Sophia Gimino at the shooting guard position, and now Lizzie Romer has it up top. She's at the power forward, and she kicks it over to Maddie Spears, and that's McCoy Pfister. Those are the two other forwards. It looks like they don't have a true center out there, but we'll see what the three-forward lineup can do for them here tonight. McCoy Pfister, not too familiar with the starting lineup, as she typically comes off the bench, but she is a core piece of offense for the Crusaders, and I'm very excited to see what she can do now she's getting more minutes. And a nice long offensive possession ends in a layup, and that is no good. And tipped back inside. That is rebounded by Denasia Smith. And starting with Smith, you want to hit us with the starting lineups for South, Andrew, as they make their first basket.
Starting for South at guard, Zion Butler. Another guard, Mahogany Butler. Number 20 at guard, Anaya Kennedy. A forward, Ramaya Kennedy. And finishing that off, number 24, Denasia Smith.
We get right back to the action as Sophia Gimino hits one from the corner. And that gives Caven back the lead, their first of the night, and we'll see what South can respond with. That's Butler bringing it up, as she loses it, but is able to get it over to her sister Mahogany Butler. Now a loose ball ends up in the hands of Zion Butler, but then out of bounds off of Zion Butler. And a good defensive effort there by McCoy Pfister. And that gives KMC back the ball. And now a disagreement with the referees. And it looks like it's actually going to be South ball. Very assertive call there by the head ref. And now an early timeout. This is going to be from South, their first of the contest. And so South is now a little second opportunity here, second chance opportunity here to get the ball back. It'll be on their side of the court, and a chance to set up a nice offensive set. And what are you expecting to see here from the inbounds play, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm just expecting just some really good offense. South hasn't really shown much so far. I mean, the game just started, so we haven't really seen much from either side. KMC's new offense, new starting lineup. We'll see if they're effective and what they can do here, and let's see if they can shut down South.
And so here we go as Zion Butler will inbound. And gets into her sister. Now Mahogany Butler finds her sister once again now inside. Nice little dish off. Ends up in the hands of what looks to be Anaya Kennedy for the basket. Now Sophia Gimino facing a trap. And foul going to be called on the far sideline. Looks like Gimino got bailed out there, but we'll see what KMC can do now. I mean, they haven't done too well against the pressure here early on. Let's see if they can break this press and potentially get a basket on the other end.
Yeah, it looks like that's South's game plan on defense, just to rattle KMC on every inbound. KMC has not been great this season when teams have been pressuring them as soon as they inbound that ball, and that looks like what South is trying to do.
And it succeeds there, as now a shot taken by Butler ends up in a foul, and that will be Tilly Jones's first personal. And now after she makes. Let's see what Kapaun can do once again. Now out of bounds. We'll see what the call is.
And South really isn't giving KMC any wiggle room right here. Other than that very first possession, KMC really hasn't been able to move the ball downfield.
And now Pfister throws it right into an interception, that time by Anaya Kennedy. Now another loose ball ends up in the hands of, that's Deshauna Smith. Excuse me, Denasia Smith. And looks like jump ball will be called. Will be taken out of bounds by South. Possession arrow switches sides. And nice little basket off the inbound from Maya Kennedy. Now Zion Butler with a steal. Can't get that one to go, but now a no block by Sophia Jamino. Thought that might have been a foul, but great defensive work there by Jamino. And Pfister gets trapped in the corner, and looks like Coach Graff forced to take his first timeout of the contest.
And Gabe, South is not giving KMC anything easy. Everything is coming. They're making it difficult to move that ball up the court. KMC is trying to revert back to their nice, clean passes, but as you saw there, it got picked off. And they're going to need to clean those up if they're going to want to actually have some offensive possessions.
And so now we'll have the same lineup back onto the floor for KMC, and it looks like South will stick with their starters as well. As now Pfister brings it up, gets it to Jamino. And we've kind of seen a shift from Jamino. Typically she's played more of a point guard type of role, really commanding the offense, but now we see her as more of a shooting guard and is more of a scorer rather than a facilitator. As that's Maddie Spears on the layup. Shooting, that's McCoy Pfister on the layup. That gives her first basket of the night.
Yeah, Gabe, I think with Jamino, you can just put her anywhere on the court. I mean, besides center. But she's such a great leader that you put her anywhere in that offense and she will succeed. She's a great scorer, she's a great ball handler, and a great passer. She can find the open teammate and make a play happen.
And it looks like 10 seconds going to be called. And after that made three from Zion Butler, they will have possession back. And it looks like for the first time here tonight we'll have a substitute. That's Anaya Kennedy coming off in favor of Kennedy Dean. Now South slowing things down a bit here, trying to get it inside, and they do. Nice little layup from Maya Kennedy is good.
It doesn't look like South has missed much here. They're hitting their shots when they get the second chance opportunities. They're making those possessions count, and they're continuing to score.
And after that basket from Wizzy Romer goes down. Well, we actually forgot to mention the substitute for Kapaun. Emily Jacobs comes on in favor of Tilly Jones. And now Jamino gets the pass from Pfister, excuse me. And we'll head the other way with it after a Wizzy Romer missed three. Now Pfister gets it into Jamino. Pfister up the court to Spears. And looks like the pressure from South dropping off a little bit here versus what we've seen previously. And now a nice move from Romer. Gets her inside, and that layup's no good off the backboard. Rebounded by Jacobs. Jacobs out to Pfister. Pfister for three. That is good. And there's some of that offensive spark, Andrew. Tell us a little bit more about McCoy Pfister.
Yeah, as a freshman, she has really been a great offensive tool for KMC. She doesn't have much experience, but we've seen later in the year that she has progressed, and really fit into this offense and found a place on this team. Just really showing that even a freshman can play great.
And a loose ball ends up out of bounds, and that will be KMC possession. Now Sadie Sanders, another underclassman, however, she's a sophomore. And we saw her a little bit last year, not too much. But Sadie has been a great source of, especially defense, off the bench for KMC. And she comes on now as Sophia Jamino checks out. And now Romer gets it to Sanders. Now Sanders up to Spears. Nice offensive flow. Now inside to Emily Jacobs, and she will be fouled underneath the basket. And that's exactly what you want your team to do when they're facing a hard press like what South was showing there.
Yeah, those nice crisp passes are really what this KMC offense is built on. And they're getting to the free throw line again. Another big part of this offense.
And now Jacobs, good on a high arching free throw. That one good as well. And now Kapaun cuts the lead now just 2 points. Or just 2 points, I should say. And now showing a little bit of a press of their own. And now loose ball regathered there by Zion Butler. Butler kicks it over to Mahogany Butler. And Mahogany Butler able to knock down to 3. And now out of bounds off the hands of Denasia Smith.
A great hustle by South, being able to score big points and then get right back on defense and force a poke out of bounds.
Nice give and go. Opens things up for Jamino, and she takes it all the way. Nice up and under, but no good. And that ends up out of bounds off of Mahogany Butler. So Kapaun will get a second chance opportunity here. Now off the inbound, gets to Jamino. Back to Romer. Now Romer facing some pressure, gets it into Spears. Spears, no good on the layup. Now back to Zion Butler. Zion Butler for 3. That's no good off the back iron. And bounces all the way out to the free throw line where that is rebounded by Romer. Now Romer throws it right back to South. And the foul going to be called now in transition. That's on Sophia Jamino. And some fast-paced action here, Andrew. What are you seeing from both sides? I mean, maybe some mistakes, maybe some success, or what are you seeing?
Both teams really haven't been great with the ball. When KMC is they're making really good passes and getting that ball up the court, they just don't seem to be able to transition that into buckets, except for at the free throw line where they thrive.
And now some miscommunication there. Ends up in a jump ball. It'll be KMC possession. And now looks like Anaya Kennedy checks back into the game. And on the prior possession, we saw McCoy Pfister re-enter the game as well. And some great pressing here from South. And now McCoy Pfister with an open lane. Misses the layup, but now rebounded by Jacobs. And her putback is missed as well. And now in the final minute of the first quarter, let's see what South can do with their potential last possession.
And Gabe, we've seen a few of those transitions by KMC that just great passes that really haven't resulted in anything. And that's just, you don't want to see that from your team.
And now nice little shot there from Ramaya Kennedy is no good. Now rebounded by South. Now kick out to Mahogany Butler, who hits the 3. Now inbound goes to Spears. Back to Jamino. And now Sanders facing the press. Gets it to Jamino. Now Jamino races to the basket. Puts it up. And block going to be called. It looks like Anaya Kennedy was looking to draw the charge, but doesn't look like her feet were set. And that gives Jamino 2 free throws with 17.7 left on the clock. First one's good.
And all season, Sophia Gimino has been great from the free throw line, coming up when she is needed.
Now Gimino hits the second one as well. And so now South with 17 and change left to go in the quarter. Let's see what they can do with these final seconds. And Kapaun just trying to stick to the 6-point deficit. That's pretty manageable as we head into the second quarter. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, that's definitely not something to worry about, but I would not get careless. I would still play great defense. And after this period, KMC's looking to just shorten that lead and create some offense of their own.
But actually, it will not be a 6-point deficit. It'll be an 8-point deficit there.
Deficit at the end.
After that last-minute make by Zion Butler. And we will head into the second quarter with Kapaun down by 8, score 22-14. And so, Andrew, what? Give me a recap of the first quarter, if you don't mind.
So, the game started out really, really hot. KMC getting some points off their very first possession, and then South comes back, coming out really hot as well with a three-pointer, and then some hot defense by South, really holding KMC in their own court, not letting anything get past them. And then KMC started to figure it out, getting some good passes, going back to their rhythm, going back to what they know in practice. And then that got us to where we are now, down by 8. South has just been continuing on the roll of offense, hitting big threes and hitting the shots in the paint when they're needed to. They haven't really missed many wide open shots, and that is key if you want to be winning here. KMC really hasn't been great on transition. Some open free throws that they would like to have back.
Now Mahogany Butler gets it over to Ramaya Kennedy. Ramaya Kennedy gets it back over to Nasia Smith. And I think this is where South is going to have the most success, is just these slow, methodical offensive possessions that end up in these interior passes that give looks to Ramaya Kennedy and Nasia Smith underneath the basket. And that basket by Smith actually gets them up to 10 points on the lead.
KMC just being careless with the ball, making just silly passes. I really didn't see anybody open there.
And now foul going to be called. We'll see who this was on. And it will be, looks like it'll be on Emily Jacobs, her first personal foul. Team foul number 3 for KMC.
And Gabe, earlier this year, this KMC defense was drawing was causing a lot of fouls. And it looks like tonight they're being really disciplined. Only 3 fouls thus far, and just playing conservative, but not giving up any free points.
Exactly right. Now, McCoy Pfister doing a great job of pushing the tempo. Let's see if she can do something on the other end, and she does. Nice coast-to-coast play there for Pfister.
And Pfister leads the team with 7 points thus far, and we just keep saying she's a great spark for this KMC offense.
Now Ramaya Kennedy kicks back out to Zion Butler. Zion Butler for 3. No good. And the Butler sisters have been phenomenal from 3 so far. And we'll see if that continues. Unable to convert there, but still something to look out for if you're Kapaun Mount Carmel. And now Pfister from 3. That is good as well, and that gives her 10 points on the evening.
And as you were saying, Gabe, the Butler sisters have combined for 17 points already in these early first 2 quarters.
And now in the corner, that's Denasia Smith. Gets back over to Mahogany Brown. Mahogany Butler kicks back out to Smith. And now Zion Butler gets it up and good. Another basket from Butler. And now McCoy Pfister. That is good as well. And wow, the freshman really just on fire here tonight. And that gives her 12 points. And that matches her with Zion Butler, the leader in scoring for South High here tonight. And, you know, she's been phenomenal. Dumps it off to her sister, Mahogany Butler. And that is good as well. I just got done telling you, Andrew, the Butler sisters have been doing phenomenal here from three-point range. And, you know, are you expecting that from sisters, or what's kind of the thought?
Well, I feel like they thrive off each other. When one's playing good, the other is playing good. And I think it's the opposite, too. When one's playing bad, the other one's playing bad. And it looks like tonight they're having a great game, just going off each other, filling the offense, keeping it slow, methodical, and scoring the big buckets.
And now Kapaun only down by 9, as we said. Maybe not as manageable as the 6-point deficit they could have had heading into the second quarter break, but still, not the worst place to be midway through the second period.
Yeah, it's very manageable, but I wouldn't get careless here. Still, bring the offense and do what they practice. They need to cut this lead down and get closer to South.
And let's see what they can do now with the ball. As South expended their second time out of the game, they'll have 3 remaining. And now Emily Jacobs has it on the wing. Kicks it back to Jamino. Now Jamino looks around. Back to Pfister. And we talked about earlier with South, the most success they've has when they're doing stuff like this, where you have slow methodical drives, interior passing, and I think that's what KMC is going to find as well. And so we'll see if that's what they decide to do here on offense.
And KMC has really been scoring through McCoy Pfister. They've just been getting her the ball and letting her do her thing.
Exactly right. And now Sophia Jamino has it. She kicks it over to Pfister. And Pfister back to Jacobs. See, the problem is here with Cape is it's impossible for them to get an interior presence on offense. As Butler pulls up from deep three-point range, but that is rebounded by, looks like Ramaya Kennedy. And jump ball going to be called. And Kennedy, not too happy about that one. It looks like she was looking for the foul there. But regardless, it will be KMC possession. And now Jamino brings it up. And Kapaun again with just some slow, methodical offense. And it gets that open for Emily Jacobs, who opens up from the mid-range. Not something we typically see from the center, but, in a time where your team needs scoring, you're going to have to take some tougher shots.
Yeah, and she definitely knocked that one down. Great shot opportunity. Great passing to set that up.
And now Anaya Kennedy gets it back to Mahogany Butler. Now over to Zion Butler, who leads her team in scoring, as we mentioned earlier, 12 points. And, she isn't too far ahead of her sister Mahogany Butler, who has 10 points. And rebound goes to Jacobs. Now up the court to Pfister. And Pfister loses it, but gets it back and gets it to Spears. Spears stripped. And now Butler has it. Gets it up to Denasia Smith. Denasia Smith drives, loses it, and is fouled underneath the basket.
And South is continuing with their tight defense. They're not letting KMC mount a comeback anytime soon.
And that foul will be on Maddie Spears, her first personal, team foul number 4. Now checking in for South. It looks like Kiara Holm makes her first appearance. And it's like a foul from Mahogany Butler. That's her second personal foul. Team foul number 4 for South. And so we'll see what Kapaun can do on offense on this possession. Down by 7, really in need of points. Andrew, we already talked about how Pfister has been, the main offensive production for Kapaun in this game. But who else can they look to for points?
I say go to your 2 upperclassmen, Lizzie Romer and Sophia Gimino. Earlier this year, they combined for 42 points, an incredible performance by both of them, just showing their leadership and their great scoring ability. And right there is Sophia Gimino coming through with a big three-pointer. Exactly right. That cuts the lead now to just 4. And with a stop here, Kapaun can get that lead even smaller. And now South regaining their selves a bit here is trying to slow things down. And now Mahogany Butler brings it back up to the top of the key, and she pulls up for 3. And some contact there, ends up in a loose ball, and I'll be heading the other way as Denasia Smith taps that one right as it was going out of bounds. I thought that might have been off a Kapaun player. I don't know quite why she touched it, but maybe it's hard to see from up here. Maybe that's not what happened. Yeah, and Gabe, this South offense, it's very difficult to play around. They have those three-point shooters in Butler, and also in the paint, they're able to grab rebounds like you saw there. They made it a physical attempt to grab that rebound. And even though the ball didn't go their way, they still gave KMC some trouble there. And now Gimino able to get that layup to go. And now with 1:33 remaining, Andrew, Kapaun with a real chance to tie things up here or potentially take the lead as we head into the halftime break. Now a loose rebound ends up in the hands of looks to be Dean and ends up out of bounds off Kapaun hands after Dean's putback goes awry. And if KMC can tie it pretty soon, this will have been a pretty large change in leadership. At one point, South was up by 9 points in the second quarter, and KMC quickly cut that lead down. And just before half, they have a chance to tie it up and even take the lead. Exactly right. And, that would be a success, especially for Kapaun. They came into this game. This is a tough team. And, I'm not going to say they played bad, but especially in that first quarter, they probably didn't come out exactly how they wanted to. So if you can go into the halftime break tied, it's almost like a reset. You can kind of think of it as being 0-0, and you just got to play a good second half, and the game will be decided from that alone. And looks like Romer going to pick up her first personal, team foul number 5. And that will be Ramaya Kennedy at the line shooting 2. First one, good. And now Kennedy looking to extend the lead to 4 and make it a 2-possession game. Able to do that just fine. And South is not letting Kapaun have an opportunity to tie here unless something big happens in the final 40 seconds. But I don't see South letting up this lead at the end of half. Looks like offensive foul to be called here on Emily Jacobs. That'll be her second. And just as we talked about how Kapaun had an opportunity to tie things up, they have the chance to go down by 6 here if they don't get a stop. And so definitely keep possession for him as we enter the last 30 seconds of the first half. Now Ramaya Kennedy. That is good.
And now Kapaun, just as they were just closing the gap, right back to being down by 6. And so let's see if they can get something going here on offense with their last possession, of the first half potentially, as that will be the final shot as Firmino misses that one. And we'll head into the halftime break with KMC down by 6, score 34-28, and we'll step aside for the Pommies and join us back in about 15 minutes for the second half of action. Hello and welcome back to Kapaun Mount Carmel, home of your Kapaun Mount Carmel Crusaders, who tonight are facing off against the Titans of South High. We'll get right back to the action of the second half. Has a nice dump off to Janasia Smith, gets kicked out to Zion Butler. Now back out to Mahogany Butler. And Mahogany Butler opens up the scoring in the second half with a three-point make.
And South going right back to what they ended the second period off with. Those big three-pointers to increase the lead. Now up to 9 points against Kapaun.
And now looks like McCoy Pfister going to pick up her first personal, team foul number 1. And now Mahogany Butler again for three-pointer. That is good. And now heading their way, another turnover in transition for Kapaun. And Andrew, to end off the first half, Kapaun had 8 turnovers. And now that number already up to 10 as we enter the early stages of the second half.
And Gabe, that right there is what tells the story of that first half. KMC got close at one point, down by 2, but that quickly shriveled away. Because of those turnovers, just silly passes and pokeaways by South, that tight defense is just causing problems for KMC.
And now another turnover for Kapaun. And Coach Graff is forced to use his second timeout of the game. And so he'll have 3 remaining.
And Coach Graff is really trying to fix this, whatever happened out of the locker room, out of halftime. South is just coming out firing, hitting their stride early. Just 2 big three-pointers right away, and KMC notices a problem, and hopefully they can fix it before this lead becomes too great.
And exactly right, already down by 14. Just trying to stop the bleeding. However, they will have the ball coming out of the timeout, so hopefully they can get something going on offense. It all starts with a made basket. So,
and I say that KMC will go straight to their scores. Lizzie Romer, Sophia Gimino, and McCoy Pfister, they have been key pieces in the point scoring here tonight.
First things first, they have to break this press. As the man goes to Jones and is picked off almost instantly, and now Mahogany Butler, no good on the layup, gets back out to Zion Butler, who with some nice touch off the glass, is able to get that one to go in. Now up the court to McCoy Pfister, now to Romer. Romer able to get the and 1 basket.
And transition is where KMC makes their buckets. Good passes to set up a good and 1 opportunity for Lizzie Romer. Let's see if she can make this right here.
Now Romer collects herself, puts up the free throw, and that is no good. Bounces a couple times and rims out. Now Mahogany Butler for 3-point again, for a 3-point again, and that is no good. And Jamina with the rebound gets it to Jones. Jones up the court to Spears. Spears up the court down to Romer. Romer in the corner for 3. That is good. Romer with 6 points to open up the second half.
And KMC is showing that they can hang with South when it comes to the three-pointers. Lizzie Romer, a big three-point shooter all season, is showing that she can make shots beyond the arc.
Exactly right. And now Jamino, that goes off of, looks to be Mahogany Butler, and she was coming from behind trying to get a steal there. And now Jamino gets it to Spears. Spears out to Pfister. Now, you see, this is a great job by Pfister. Slows things down, allows for something to open up for Spears, and even though she's unable to convert there for 3 points, still a good move by the freshman, allowing things to open up before making a decision.
Yeah, they're able to slow down the offense, relax, find the open pass, and create an opportunity to score.
And now Jamino Gets over to Pfister. You see this again, slowing down, not taking a dribble. And there it nearly ends up in a turnover, but still good method there by Kapaun as a whole. And now Sophia Gemino able to knock that 3 down. And all of a sudden, it's only an 8-point game. Looks like South will use their third timeout of the game. They'll have 2 remaining. But still, I like what I'm seeing from Kapaun here on offense. Still need to, work on, facing that pressure and, maybe adjust some things defensively. But they've done a great job here in the second half of getting things going on offense. Came out a little slow on both sides of the ball, but just like that, they're back in this thing with an 8-point deficit. And, with 9 points combined from Romer and Gemino, you got to think that's overcomable for the Lady Crusaders.
Yeah, and what we were saying was get the ball to your scorers, and KMC has done just that, and it has proved to cut down this lead a little bit.
And it looks like Emily Jacobs checks in now with Tilly Jones. And now Myra Nichols comes in for Sophia Gemino. And Myra Nichols making her first major appearance. She appeared some in the El Dorado tournament, I believe. But still, she was injured up until this point in the season. And so another key part of Kapaun's entirety of a team, but she's a great defensive presence especially. So it's going to be interesting to see how she comes back onto the team.
And as an upperclassman, she just adds a little bit more to that leadership of that KMC offense and defense.
And then Nicholas looks around and has the ball poked out from behind. And so let's see what Kapaun can do with a chance to cut the lead. Inside of Jacobs. Jacobs with some nice post moves. Isn't going to get much, and so she kicks it back out to Pfister. Back over to Spears. Now back to Jacobs. And another player I'm impressed with is Jacobs. She only has 4 points, but she's been great, especially offensively when we saw her opening things up, especially from the mid-range. And even though she hasn't made too many, hasn't taken too many shots, she's still a proven threat from the mid-range and a threat when she's open. And so that's still great to have.
Yeah, she's a really great post presence for KMC. And KMC doesn't have too many post players, but Jacobs is one of the few, and she does her job very well.
Exactly right. And so now we see, looks to be a jump ball. As possession arrow changes, and Kapaun brings it up with a chance to cut the lead. Now back to Pfister, now up to Jacobs. And Andrew, just as we've talked about, this is what you want to see when your team is down. Just running the offense, slowing things down, waiting for things to open up before you make a decision. And that's exactly what they're doing here. Keeping the ball moving. And now slowing things down is Gemino. Gets it over to Pfister. Jacobs in the corner, I should say, excuse me.
And this is really what KMC does best, making good, crisp passes, set up opportunities. I always say it, and they just always go back to it whenever they're down. And it just shows how their practice has really translated well to games.
Exactly right. And now Gemino will shoot 2 from the charity stripe.
And at the free throw line is really where KMC makes their opponents pay. They've been very good all season, and they're hoping to cut this lead down to 6 points.
And that's exactly what you want to do, especially when you're down, Andrew. The free throw line is always a great way to score points, and it's also a great way to put some pressure on your opponent with fouls. Especially in the post, having I mean, of course, with the Butler sisters, both of them have been great from beyond the arc and just creating their own shots. But the majority of South shots here tonight have come from the post, and so you put some pressure on some of those players and get them in some foul trouble. You suddenly take some key pieces out of the puzzle for South. And now, after the missed basket, it looks like Jacobs comes up with it and gets it to Jamino, who brings it up the court for KMC.
And Gabe, the Butler sisters have combined for a total of 30 points here tonight. And so if KMC is able to eliminate them on defense, they'll have a really good shot of making a comeback and winning the game.
And great job there by Maddie Spears. Some great defense turns into some quick offense there, and she's able to get the layup to go. And now Ramaya Kennedy underneath the basket as that ends up out of bounds and off of Kapaun hands. And so Zion Butler will inbound for South. Gets it to Ramaya Kennedy. Ramaya Kennedy thinks about pulling up and then drives instead. And a charge going to be called. Great job there by the junior Lizzie Romer. Ball will head the other way as Ramaya Kennedy picks up her first personal foul. And it looks like the team's third team foul.
And that's some great upperclassman IQ right there. She's very experienced, and she just shows those younger players a great opportunity to get the ball back.
Exactly right. And so Butler will once again inbound for South. And as we enter the final 2 minutes of the third quarter, Kapaun down by 4. So with a few defensive stops, they have a real chance of coming back and essentially taking the lead. And a travel now called on Denasia Smith. And
there's just another turnover that adds to KMC's growing list of our growing number of turnovers. That was costly, and South right here is going to have an opportunity for 3 points.
I mean, exactly right there. But I mean, something else to mention about turnovers. South was 6 in the third quarter alone, 8 total in the game. It's showing that whichever way the turnover differential is heading tends to be where momentum is shifting as well. And so limiting turnovers on both sides, both Kapaun and South, is definitely going to be in their best interest. As Jamino dumps it off to Jacobs underneath the basket, and a shot is heaved up, but then that ends up out of bounds. But no. Excuse me, it looks like Jamino. No, excuse me, it'll be out of bounds. It'll be out of bounds and heading the other way for South. Now a deep three-point shot, no good from Mahogany Butler.
And KMC is just lucky that she did not score there. I don't know what the plan was there to leave her open. She has been very hot from the three-point line all tonight.
There's a great job there by Jamino. Nice little up and under to get that one to go. KMC only down by 5 as we enter the final minute of the third quarter. And now Zion Butler for 3. That is no good as well. And you kind of hit the nail on the head there earlier, Andrew. We talked about KMC, maybe not closing out as well as they could on Mahogany Butler. Speaking of three-pointers, that's Lizzie Romer with one of her own. That cuts the South lead to just 2 points. But back to my point, both Butler sisters are a threat from deep, and even though they're not making them right now, KMC has to put more pressure on them along the perimeter.
And this is KMC's closest lead since the beginning of the game. Let's see if they can close out and tie this game up.
And it looks like Mahogany Butler able to get that one to go. Extends the lead for 4. Now underneath the basket, looks like Denasia Smith couldn't get that one to go, and that will bring us to the 4th and final quarter of tonight's contest. And KMC down by 4, score 49-45. And if you're just tuning in, this is definitely an exciting one. Andrew, what are you seeing right now?
Well, I'm seeing South going to their playmakers, the Butler sisters, and they have been great tonight. And, KMC is also trying to do the same, going to their scores. Pfister is really, she hasn't been as impactful in the second half, scoring-wise. But she's been getting the ball to her other teammates, Jamino and Romer. And Romer has been great on past the three-point line, getting multiple threes here to shorten the lead.
Exactly right. And now we'll see what both sides decide to do in the 4th quarter. Another thing to look at is the free throw game. Both teams, have tried to get to there as much as possible, but not too many taken by either side. Kapaun, hasn't been too productive. They've been productive when they've gone there, but maybe when you're down like this, you try to get there a little bit more often. Try to take those hard contested drives. Excuse me.
And once again, KMC got close to tying the game up, and just silly mistakes have made this increased this South lead even more. KMC wishing that they could go back to that 2-point lead, or 2-point deficit.
And so it looks like Kapaun will take their 3rd timeout. They'll have 2 remaining. But, not typically something you want to do, right after coming out of a quarter break, use one of your timeouts. That being said, does give Graf a chance to just kind of slow things down and just gives them a little bit extra time to just reemphasize what the girls' mission is here coming into the final quarter, and not to mention it helps them avoid a turnover. So we'll get right back into the action here.
And Gabe, one thing that South has been doing very well tonight has been responding to KMC. Every time KMC goes on a great run, scoring points and shortening the deficit, South has just answered back and increased it back to what it was, and just not letting KMC get too close.
Exactly right, but KMC has done a great job going on runs. When someone's hot, they tend to feed the hot hand. But there's Lizzie Romer getting a basket there, cuts the lead now to 4. And now Denasia Smith drives, but now trapped. Has to make a tough pass, and it goes off the backboard, it looks like. And ends up in the hands of Tilly Jones. And that's Romer in the corner. Nice inside pass to Jacobs. Jacobs with the shot. That's no good from the paint. And we'll see South kind of swing the ball around here. And foul going to be called. I think that's going to be on Tilly Jones. Her 2nd personal, team foul number 3. And it looks like she'll head to the bench as Jamino re-enters the game. And now Mahogany Butler. And, you see Kapaun typically, you see here with Emily Jacobs on this right now. They're pretty relaxed around the perimeter. But when it's in one of the Butler sisters' hands, they are, pretty quick to the ball and trying to put as much pressure as possible. You see McCoy Pfister coming out all the way, 5 feet beyond the arc.
Yeah, Gabe, they cannot let her score. She is deadly from the three-point line, and pretty much all tonight she has been able to hit those.
The loose ball ends up in the hands of Ramaya Kennedy, and she is fouled. Looks like in the act of shooting, so she will head to the line for 2 shots. And the chance to make it a potential, I guess I don't know. It would still be a 2-possession game. I was going to say potential for a 3-possession game, but no. South only up by 4 and potential to make it 6 here at the charity stripe. First one good from Kennedy.
KMC down by 5. They really need to cut this lead down if they want to make this close. 6 minutes left in the game. That's not too bad, but they really need to cut this down.
And now McCoy Pfister. Nice move, gets her some space. Now loose ball. And foul going to be called. And it looks like Pfister picks up her second personal. Team foul number 5. So now Capen has to worry potentially about some team foul trouble, as they definitely don't want to put South into the bonus. And now a deep 3 from Zion Bower. That is good. And now the lead extended to 9. See what Cape can do to respond. Nice move from Romer. That is good in transition.
And 35 points tonight from the Butler sisters. They are a great duo, and they just feed off each other.
And now back to Zion Bower. Zion Bower again for 3. That is no good. And now Pfister gets it. Now trapped in the corner. In trouble. Looks like out of bounds, and it will be Capen ball. And now Fisher gets it to Romer. Romer back to Jamino. And you just see Capen again slowing things down, looking for those open lanes and trying to get the ball to the interior as much as possible. Excuse me. But again, I think some of the best offense that KMC can run right now is just trying to drive to the hoop as much as possible. But now Pfister, open shot no good from 3. And now a tough fought possession there for Jamino. And it looks like she will draw the foul as well. So Ramaya Kennedy pick up her second personal, team foul number 4. And it will be Capen ball. And now timeout called by South. They will only have 1 remaining as we enter the final 4:30 of the ball game. And it's now Capen down by 7. A 3-possession game, definitely manageable, but definitely something they're going to have to try to conquer sooner rather than later.
And something we've seen all night, Gabe, is KMC coming back from these large deficits, and they've made it themselves only down by 2, and then South starts to bring on the Jets again. So let's see if KMC can tie it up and finish this game off, get the lead, and win this game. And 4 minutes, that's not the greatest amount of time, but it's definitely something to work with.
Exactly right. We'll see what Capen decides to do here. As again, South with only 1 timeout remaining in the game. So we'll see how that plays, especially in a potentially close game like this. That could prove pivotal later down the stretch. Now Jamino has at the crest for Kapaun. It looks like a little play drawn out of the timeout. Drawn up out of the timeout, excuse me. Doesn't look like it's going to produce much, but Pfister doing a great job waiting for things to open up. Now kicks back out to Jacobs. Jacobs from a mid-range shot. That's no good. Rebounded this time by Anaya Kennedy.
South has done a very good job tonight of not giving too many second chance opportunities for Kapaun. They've been getting the board and then doing their thing on offense. And that's something that KMC needs to work on here as the season closes. Just getting those second chance opportunities and not finishing possessions off with one chance.
Exactly right. And we'll see what South can do now. As Anaya Kennedy finds Mahogany Butler. Mahogany Butler for three. That is good. And another pivotal point in the game is South another turnover here for Kapaun. And now just like that, the lead extended to 12. Now Rummer on the other end. That way up, no good. And rebound goes to Ramaya Kennedy. And so Jamino will inbound. Going for a jump ball. And back to Jamino in the corner. And Jamino leading her team with 17 points. At what point do you just start calling your own number and trying to get your team back into this game?
I'd say KMC really just needs to find any way to score here. I think don't start shooting threes yet, or only shooting threes yet, but create opportunities, and still 2 minutes left. There is some concern, but score. They need to score on every possession now.
Foul going to be called. This time it'll be on Denasia Smith. Her first personal, team foul number 5. And so Kapaun definitely needing some offensive production on this drive. As Roma gets it to Pfister. Pfister looks around, gets it back to Jamino. And Jamino pulls up from 3. That is no good. And it'll be out of bounds off of Maddie Spears.
And KMC needs threes, but I wouldn't say that was the best opportunity for Jamino to shoot one right there. It looks like there was a South defender pretty close to her, and it proves to not be a great shot right there.
And now Ramaya Kennedy really pushing the tempo, not typically somebody we see from a post player, but she is dribbling with authority. And now that ends up in the hands of Zion Butler, and then back down the low to Kennedy Dean for the basket. And then that goes inside to Spears. Spears, nice drive, and that bounces in. Now Butler gets it to her sister. Now Mahogany Butler. Foul going to be called.
And South is really trying to put this game away. It pretty much looks like South is going to come away with this one, but if KMC tries to put anything together in this final minute, 12 points is a lot, but South is not letting anything happen.
but we're good on our first shot, and now second one good as well. Pushes the South lead now to 14 points. Now with just over a minute left to play, Kapaun has it on offense. And, well, you never want to say it, it's not over until it's over, but it's still good to see Kapaun, fighting and, giving as much effort as possible down to the final whistle. As Jamino is fouled, and she'll head to the line for 2 shots.
Something about this game, Gabe, is that it was close at one point. Multiple points, it was close. And KMC just twice let that lead get away from them and just let South prevail over them. If I were Coach Graf, I would go back to the drawing board, work on this with his team, just figure out how they can close leads and mount comebacks better.
Exactly right. Now, I mean, we've seen them have pretty successful comebacks already in the season. I mean, Heights was a good example. They've had good wins here this season. I think the big thing is, South got out to some runs, especially early in the game, and it's hard to come back from those when you let those happen early. I mean, it's one thing when each team is exchanging runs, but when one team in particular goes on a massive run early, maybe a 9-point, 10-point run early, it's hard for you to come back from that. And I think that's just what happened to the Lady Crusaders tonight. I mean, they had a great game, they had a great showing. In a lot of ways, I mean, putting up 53 points isn't something to bat your eye at. I mean, that's usually a pretty comfortable win for a lot, going against a lot of teams. And so, still a good showing by the Lady Crusaders tonight. With 10 seconds left, they could get another basket here, but looks like it's all about over here. And after that missed basket, that will officially end it. As looks like South will come away with their 11th win of the season, as they are now 11-3, and Kapaun falls to 8-6 on the year. But regardless, final score 67-53. South comes away with the win, and join us back in about 20 minutes for the boys game. But for now, my name is Gabriel Breinbach.
And I'm Andrew Guyer.
For a very special recognition, Carmel Senior School athlete Varsity, son of Todd and KMC, and members of St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Church, has been selected to play in the Fairfield, Kansas Shrine Bowl. That game will be played on July 15, 2023, at Varsity Stadium Hayes. Kansas will play in one of the most prominent All-Star games in the country. This is to raise money for a worthy cause. You will represent Kapaun. The Kansas Shrine Bowl, and most
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Almighty God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, we thank you for the gift of this day. We thank you for the gift of the great sport of basketball. We thank you for each of these athletes that you brought here tonight. We ask you to bless them, to keep them safe from injury and harm. Allow them to play with the true spirit of sportsmanship, and to reap the harvest of all the efforts and labor that they put into this season. Lord, we ask you to bless all of us here, that what we do tonight can truly be for your honor and glory. Draw us closer to you. We ask all of this as we pray in the words that you have given us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Our Lady of Mount Carmel, pray for us. Father Kapaun, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem.
It is now time to introduce tonight's starting lineups. First up, for the visitors from Wichita South, please welcome for the 6th grade senior professional, Andre Taylor. First up, for the Kapaun, please welcome to the floor, a 6'6" senior coach, number 0, Next up, for the Titans, 6' junior guard, number 4, Ransom. And next for the Crusaders, 6'2" senior guard, number 3, Dominic Shipley. For the visitors, by 11 sophomore guard, number 10, Aiden Ray. Next for the Crusaders, 6'4" junior guard, number 4, Will Blackball. And for the Titans, 6' junior guard, number 21, Jonathan Howard. And for KMC, 6'3" sophomore guard, number 21, Corbin Johnson. Rounding out the starting lineup for the South County Titans, 6'8" sophomore center, number 50, Hunter Hardaway. And rounding out the starting lineup for KMC, 6'5", number 22, Tegan Charles.
Hello and welcome to Cape Mount Carmel, home of your Crusaders, who tonight will be facing off against the South High Titans. And South comes into this matchup 7-6, and of course Kapaun only one loss in the season, 12-1. Sophia, what are you expecting from this matchup here tonight?
I think it's going to be pretty solid. The first time these two teams matched up against each other was at South, and it was a one-point game. Kapaun ended up winning by 1 point. And so that was a really, aggressive game, fast-paced game, and I think we're going to see a lot of that tonight. Also noted from that game, Will Ancio was just returning back from his ankle injury. And so he's full health right now, but, South, they're ready to go, and they want some revenge.
And we'll get right into it now as South, Dominic Shable able to snag the tip-off, but now heading the other way with it. That is, looks like Kendall Ransom. And so, including Ransom, Sophia, you want to hit us with the starting lineups?
Yeah, number 0, Andre Baker. Number 4, Kendall Ransom, who we just mentioned. Number 10, Avon Mabole. Number 21, Jonathan Howard. And number 50, Parker Hardgrave.
And right into the action. South playing a pretty slow style of pace here. And Sophia, what are you expecting to see here? You be a fast-paced game, a slow-paced game, more methodical. What are you expecting?
Kapaun always they're trying to control the pace, and they want to make it. They want to play solid defense, get a stop, and run the floor. And right now South obviously just turned the ball over, but they're trying to just run some good offense. So Kapaun wanting to push the ball, and South just wanting to control the tempo, run what they want to run.
And great recovery defense there by South. I mean, that was almost a surefire basket in transition for Kapaun, but they do a great job of getting back and forcing the kick out. And so now Kapaun with their first real offensive possession here as Corbin Johnson has it at the point. He kicks over to the other guard, Will Thingvall. Now over to the small forward, Dominic Shibble, drives, kicks over to Will Thingvall, and he is rejected. But to people in the front court here for Kapaun are, of course, Tegan Thingwell at the power forward position and Will Ancio at the center position. Of course, Will Ancio, during the break between the girls and the boys game, was announced as a Shrine Bowl participant. As now, first made basket is going to come from, looks like number 0, Andre Baker.
And what an honor for Ancio to be announced at the Shrine Bowl. It's a pretty cool thing. For those fans who don't know what that is, basically it's a football game that will be played in the summertime, and it's an honor to be named to one of those teams.
More like an all-star game for football.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
And Corbin Johnson responds to a 3 of his own and ties all up at 3. And Sophia, I think this is going to be a lot of what we see here tonight. A nice back-and-forth type of game, a lot of perimeter shooting. And both teams doing a great job of playing at the pace they want to play at versus, having the defense pressure them into, maybe a faster, slower type of play. And now, nice little runner is no good from Mabule. Now another steal here. This time that's, let's say, Kendall Ransom. Now from the arc, that's no good from Mabule again. And now another rebound, this time. Great job there by what looks to be Hardgrave. He's able to get the rebound, and on the putback is fouled.
And Hardgrave is going to be hard to contend against. Super big presence out there. He's going to go grab those rebounds. And, something Kapaun is going to have to look out for.
Exactly right. And Corbin Johnson picks up his first personal foul. And that'll be team foul number 1 for Kapaun as well, excuse me. And we'll see what Hardgrave can do with his second free throw attempt, and that one is good, kind roll there. And that will give South a 2-point lead. And now pushing up the court, that's Will Thingwell kicking back to Corbin Johnson. And Kapaun, we've seen them, be capable of playing at a fast pace. But I think this is really their bread and butter, slowing things down, swinging around the arc, trying to get as much interior penetration on offense as possible. And Sophia, what do you think are some keys for them on offense?
Yeah, they do really, really well when they get it, somehow get it into the paint. Whether that be by getting Ancio the ball, driving, anything like that. When they get the ball inside, they can either look to score or kick it out and get a good 3. So that's really what they're looking for. But again, as we mentioned, Hardgrave, He's a big defensive presence down there, and so Kapaun going to have to make those adjustments on the offensive end, try to figure out a way to find those gaps.
And now Maxwell Keller checks in for Kapaun. And so now we'll see what South can do. A missed shot and some contact underneath the basket. And it looks like Corbin Johnson going to pick up his second personal with 2 quick ones for Johnson.
And it looks like Baker might have rolled over the side. Or, Johnson got under him and then Baker rolled over on him, and I think that's what they're calling there.
Johnson putting his kiss to the left, but looks like timeout can be called. This will be the first one for Kapaun. They'll have 4 remaining.
And Coach Eck just trying to gather his team here. South up 7-3. Still very early on in the game, but there's some things Coach Eck has seen. Some adjustments Kapaun is going to need to make. They're playing pretty solid defense, but again, it's going to be hard. South is doing a great job of moving the ball down the perimeter and then getting inside, but also getting their own rebounds. So far, what I've seen is South has been dominating the boards. And so that's something Kapaun is going to have to look at stepping up.
Exactly right, and some whistles here. And Sophia, what are some key things for South moving forward?
They're doing a great job on offense, just trying to move the ball. I think just, not settling, keeping Kapaun on their toes, moving around is going to be crucial. And yeah, just keep moving the ball like that, and good things will happen.
And then another good take there for Hardgrave. He draws another foul. And it'll be on Ancio, his first personal, team foul number 3. As Hardgrave able to knock down the first. And we'll see what he can do with the second as he collects himself and puts up the second free throw. That is good as well. And now Dingball gets up to Maxwell Keller. Now over to Charles. Charles inside to Ancio. Ancio puts some moves on his defender, and that is good. Looks like Baker was trying to draw a charge there. Didn't quite get the call he wanted, and that ends up in the basket for Kapaun.
Yeah, and great job by Kapaun there, breaking the press and just moving the ball down the court.
And it looks like Ancio's going to be kicking himself after that one. It's just slipped out of his hands. It'll be South basketball underneath the basket. And now dump inside to Hardgrave. And Hardgrave shot off the mark, but nice rebound there by, it looks like, Howard. Howard there on the rebound and put back, and that is good. And that extends the South lead to 6. And now Kapaun down early, Sophia. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, they're having, when they get set up in the offense, they're having a lot of trouble getting anything going, really. And South is doing a great job on the defensive end in that set defense. But also, yeah, as I mentioned in the beginning, Kapaun likes to run the ball, but so far this game, they haven't had many opportunities where they get a steal or something or cause a turnover and can get down the court, and that is usually where they get a lot of their points from.
And another good rebound there from Hardgrave, as Ancio misses that one from the paint. And now another three from South, this time coming from Kendall Ransom. Kendall Ransom. Regardless, it's 3 points, and that extends the South lead now to 9 points. So South really on a tear here early. And Sophia, what's something you think Kapaun can do on defense to, kind of stop the bleeding a little bit and try to, not let themselves fall too far into a deficit?
I think they need to, maybe apply a little more pressure. That's something we usually see from them. But they do have 3 fouls, and they don't want to give South anything easy. However, I think if they're able to apply a little more pressure on the ball, maybe cause South to speed up their tempo, maybe make some of those mistakes, that'll help on the defensive end. And like I mentioned before, just getting those rebounds. South is doing a great job of getting their own offensive rebounds, and that's how they're getting those second and third chance shots and making them. So that'll be very important for Kapaun to try to box out, get a rebound, and then run down the court.
I think you're exactly right there. We'll get back into the action now, as Kapaun has now used 2 of their timeouts. They only have 3 remaining, as Brooks Powers checks into the game for Kapaun.
As long as Bo Daly, number 13.
And so now Ancio able to respond there. And now South looks to respond. And in addition for South now, Caden Neal checks in. And some contact underneath the basket, but nice shifty rebound there by Ransom. And now in the corner, that 3 no good. Hargrave though with a putback, that no good. And now Hargrave fouled. This time by Keller. And Sophia, Kapaun now with 14 fouls and South with 0. It really shows you, where they're, it tells you a lot about, who's really controlling the game so far. South really with a physical presence in this game and doing a great job of getting underneath the basket and putting themselves in a position where the ref almost has to blow the whistle.
Yeah, when they're getting those rebounds, they're just, being aggressive and then attacking the basket. They're not, really paying attention to any of the Kapaun defenders, but they're, Kapaun obviously already, behind when they're not getting those rebounds. And so they're trying to fight for it, and in doing that, they foul. So South is just doing a great job of being aggressive on the offensive end.
Exactly right. Now Shibley up the court to Keller. Keller shot off the backboard and no good. Rebounded by Ransom. And South taking a little bit of time here. That's Manning at the top of your screen, number 1. Another substitute for South. And this time, Caden Neal with a tough basket there. And now Tegan Charles, trapped in the corner, finds Dominic Shibley on the opposite wing. Underneath the basket, that's Charles. Charles with 4 men on him. Gets over to Dalian. Now Dalian over to Keller. Now Charles works and gets the hook shot to go.
Great job, finish there by Charles.
Now Manning bringing up with 24 and change left to go.
There's some of that on-ball pressure. That'll be important for Kapaun to continue.
A nice block by Powers. And now Kapaun with 10 seconds could potentially do something here. And off the foot of Manning, kick ball violation going to be called. So 2 seconds we put back on the clock.
And now Kapaun here with a chance to get a shot off before the end of the quarter.
Definitely going to have to be something they draw up. There's not going to be a whole lot of time to even dribble. So we'll see what happens. He should be inbound. And deep 3. That is good!
The bank is open. Will Thingvall with the 3. And now cutting the lead to 5. South is up 17, and Kapaun has 12.
Exactly. I mean, that a big momentum shifter there to end the first quarter. And Sophia, obviously, probably not what Kapaun wanted to see in the first quarter, but not all that bad of a first quarter, start things out with. I mean, what did you see that you liked from Kapaun in that first quarter?
I liked, well, first off, they never gave up, and then they picked up the intensity when they noticed, hey, we got a decently large deficit here. And they picked up the pressure on the defensive end, and, Coach Eck is really keen on playing solid defense, and that's exactly what they started to do, and it helped them cut the lead. And just picking up the intensity, too. They kind of were letting South control the tempo, but then they decided, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to control the tempo, and we're going to go fast and get ourselves some buckets. So that's exactly what they did.
Exactly right. And so looks like we'll see South start out with the ball here. And looks like Kaden Neal and Manning going to stay out there for South, excuse me.
And Hardgrave is going to take a break on the bench.
And now South with not a real post presence out there right now, so it could be interesting how Will Ancio is game plan against on defense. But now a nice second chance opportunity here for South after the tough rebound from Andre Baker. Now Manning slows things down, now reverses his court, kicks out to Neal. Neal kicks it out again. This is a three-point shot, no good. That coming from Mabul. However, another opportunity here for South off the offensive rebound. And Mabul kicks out, nearly loses it, but Howard able to collect himself, drives, going against Charles, kicks out to Manning. Manning for three. That is no good, rims out. And finally, Kapaun with the rebound. And up the court, that's Powers. Powers with the reversal layup. That is good, rolls in.
Great pass by Thankful to Powers there. Good job for them running the floor.
And something Kapaun has done pretty well in, I feel like, Sophia, is the transition game. And so that's something they're probably going to try to look into. As Manning, three-point shot made that time. But where I was going with that, Sophia, is, speeding up the ball as much as possible while still being comfortable could definitely be something that Kapaun can look to, maybe exploit on offense.
Yeah, I definitely agree there, Gabe.
So now Shibley slows it down, kicks out to Thingvall. Thingvall for three. That is good. And man, Will Thingvall now with 6 points. It leads his team and definitely heating up here in the second quarter. Out to Mabul. Mabul kicks back out to Howard. Howard puts up a shot, a creative shot, and that goes in.
Howard there, that was a crazy shot, but good finish.
Now a little bit of pressure here, but Kapaun able to bat it off, no problem. As Will Thingvall brings it up, and now Dominic Shibley collects the offense a little bit here. And some good motion from Kapaun so far. Really good off-ball movement as Powers shot off the mark, but good rebound by Will Ancio. And Ancio no good on the putback, but third try he's fouled. Or on the third try, I should say, he's fouled. And he'll head to the line for 2 shots. And that will be a first team foul for South in this game. And we'll see who it's on. And it looks like it'll actually be on Andre Baker, number 0. It'll be his first personal and first team foul for South. And we're, almost midway through the second quarter.
Yeah, South has plenty of fouls to give this quarter.
And Ancio able to hit his first. Ancio's second shot up and no good off the back iron. And so now South has it going the other way. And Mabul working his Thingvall. You see Thingvall with that high pressure, Sophia. Kind of what you talked about earlier with, trying to put as much on-ball pressure there as possible.
Yeah, and Charles just taking the ball.
Oh! Yeah, I think a lot of people in the stands might have thought that was going to be a dunk, but still pretty nonetheless. Great assist there from Powers, and of course, great finish there by Teagan Charles. That cuts the lead to 2 now. And South really back on their heels here. Let's see if they can make something happen on offense.
Yeah, and Kapaun with a lot of momentum right now. Kapaun is doing a good job of pushing South out towards half court, making them really spread out the offense. In South, they're wanting to penetrate, but it's been very difficult. And that's where they've been getting a lot of their offense from. So Kapaun really doing a good job on the defensive end.
And that being said, Hardgrave checks back into the game, and he's definitely the biggest post presence for South. And a whistle blown, and foul going to be called. Looks like a little bit of a late foul. Or a late call, I should say, but looks like it'll be on Mabul, Avon Mabul. It'll be his first personal foul, team foul number 2 for South. Now Dom Shibley at the top of the key. It's inside to Charles. Back out to Powers. Now cross-court pass to Thingvall. Thingvall not good on this three-point attempt this time. But now foul going to be called.
Looks like it's on the floor. And South sitting in a little 3-2 there. As they know, Kapaun has great three-point shooters. And then having Hardgrave down low, he's able to do a lot of the work and try to stop Kapaun's post from getting in there and scoring.
Now Will Thingvall thought about squaring up and instead kicks it inside, and great job there by Ancio to knock that one down.
And now Coach Gunter taking a timeout for South.
And now, we talked about how South had a few fouls to get. They definitely have a timeout to get. I mean, they had 5, and now they have 4, of course, after that as their first timeout of the game. But Eck had to use 2 timeouts early in the game, I should say. Excuse me, and definitely with some timeouts to play with. I think it's just a great move by South just to take it some time to recollect themselves and try to get back in this game. I mean, not they aren't in the game, but I mean they led it upwards of I believe 6, 8 points, and so to be tied again, definitely something worthy of stopping.
Yeah, exactly. And they just got to go back to playing their game. The game of basketball is controlled by who is in control of the speed of play. And right now that's Kapaun, but South, they had that early in the first quarter. So now they're kind of trying to reset, play how they want to play their speed, and get things going.
Now Caden Neal tries to get to Hardgrave, but stolen, and it doesn't look like Thingvall is going to be able to keep that one in bounds. Looks like that might have actually gone up into the Raptors there for a second. But regardless, it will be South ball. And now Mabul will bring it up. And now Hardgrave on the interior.
And it looks like a travel is going to be called. Ref up top got the travel, ref down low. Was going for a foul, but the travel occurred before any foul was made.
And so now that's Will Thingvall on the wing, kicking it back to Shibley. Now to Powers, inside to Charles. Back to Anson, now inside to Thingvall. Thingvall gets it, no good. Now Neal with a tough rebound, able to get that one to go, however. Or excuse me, able to collect that, I should say. Regardless, now South with the ball. Ransom loses it. That's going to end up out of bounds off the hands of Brooks Powers.
And South trying to move real quick. But you don't want to go too fast. You don't want to go too quick, as Ransom almost losing the ball right there.
And so now Neal looks around, finds Hardgrave. And back out to Mabul. And as you said, I think that's what we're seeing here, Sophia. I mean, really just trying to slow it down and allow the offense to develop and try to find somebody open. As now Howard is going to get called for a charge. Great job there by Shibley. And that gives Howard his first personal foul, team foul number 4 for South. And now Powers.
Now the Crusaders just taking their time on the offensive end, trying to move the ball around.
And Sophia, we have not seen any scoring since that timeout taken by South, and that's quite interesting. And just as I say that, Powers able to knock down to 3, but as I was saying, I mean, things have really slowed down here and really developed on the defensive side of the ball for both teams. And now Howard kicks out to Neal as we cross into 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Mabul kicks out to Howard. Howard jump shot, that's no good. Highly contested, but nice rebound to Hardgrave. Doesn't end up anywhere, but Howard able to get the second offensive rebound. And now ends up off the hands of Hardgrave, and it'll be Crusader basketball. But man, Sophia, Hardgrave, a real threat in the post.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to snag those rebounds. I mean, he kept fighting for them too. That just shows his passion for the game and his want for that ball and want to contribute to his team, or for his team.
And now, should we find Stingwall in the corner now inside to Ancio. Ancio out to Powers. Powers for 3. That's no good. And Ancio, foul going to be called on Ancio going up to the basket. So he will head to the line for 2 shots. It'll be Hardgrave's first personal foul, team foul number 5 for South. It's not looking too likely with only 1:24 remaining in the first half, but still 5 team fouls. You don't want to, get too many more just because the threat of putting the other team to the bonus, and so we'll see how the South defense reacts to that. Regardless, we'll see Ancio here. Unable to convert on the first shot, and unable to convert on the second as well. However, Kapaun gets the offensive rebound, so they'll have another chance here. Now a deep 3 from Charles. Not a deep 3, but still a 3 from Charles.
Almost gets it to go.
Nice pick from Powers. And now on the other end, that's Thingvall way up, no good. Still a great example of how fast defense can turn into offense. And Powers somehow comes up with the ball. And we'll see what the call is here.
And
a lot of stuff happening here.
Yelling.
Some ref, or I believe the ref on the Crusader side of the floor, South basket. He was maybe looking at it for a foul on where I don't know. I guess I don't really know how to explain what just happened, but regardless, it's South basketball. But yeah, just a all-around confusing situation. And now Manning gets to the Howard, and this is potentially South's last offensive possession before the break. And now Manning had an open shot there, but chose not to take it, and instead foul going to be called.
And South so far 5 of 6 on the night, so let's see if they can get 2 more to go.
As Shibley picks up his first personal foul, team foul number 5 for Kapaun.
first one is good. And Bo Dalian checking in for Will Anzio for the Crusaders. Second one is also good.
And no good. Hargrave comes down with it. 20 seconds left on the clock, and it looks like South going to slow things down here with a chance to take the lead heading into the halftime break. And to be, I mean, what does this possession, entail? I mean, if you have a basket here, you go into the break with the lead. How big is that sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, it can be huge, especially in just having confidence in the game in general. And it looks like Howard finishing just before the buzzer. A great finish by him. And that'll be 26 South, 25 Kapaun. Very close game. And meet us back in about 10 minutes and enjoy the Palmies halftime show.
Exactly right. Hello and welcome back to Cape Mount Carmel, home of your Crusaders, for the second half of action in the KMC versus South High matchup here tonight. And it's been an exciting one so far. Kapaun enters this second half down by 1, but they get to start off with the ball. So let's see if they can take the lead here early.
Yeah, South, having a lot of the momentum in the first quarter of the game, and then Kapaun bringing the score back, and now they are leading with that 3.
That's a third made 3 there for Thingwall. He's gotten all of his points from beyond the arc here tonight, and he's just been absolutely electric from the perimeter. We'll see what South here can do on their first offensive possession. Maboul, I should say, excuse me. Gets it to Hargrave, but then kicked back out. Now Ransom. Drive is good for a layup, and that ties it all up at 28. And now Johnson. Sophia, we haven't seen too much from Johnson. He's had a single 3-point make, but besides that, not much from him here tonight.
Yeah, he started off, in the first quarter early with 2 fouls, and so maybe Coach Eck we didn't see a ton of him in the second quarter. Maybe Coach Eck not wanting him to get any more of those, because he's a key player and he helps Kapaun, set up the offense. He's very aggressive, get rebounds like that. And so a dude you really want in the game.
And he gets right back into the game with that made 3. And just he had a great offensive rebound and allows for the second chance opportunity, which eventually ends up in a made 3 for Kapaun. And Sophia, we're really blowing through this third quarter of action, as we're already passing the 2-minute threshold. Just 6 minutes left in the third quarter. And Johnson does a little heat check there. That does not convert. And so heading back the other way. And now that's a tough shot and some contact there. But Baker unable to convert on the layup. Great defense from Tegan Charles.
And both teams running the floor, trying to get those transition points. And Johnson misses a 3, but does a great job getting back. And now finally a stop in the action, as it looks like Charles might pick up his third foul. Johnson might pick up his third foul. No, excuse me, it'll be on Charles, so it'll be his first personal, team foul number 1 for Kapaun in the second half. And great job by Howard there. Obviously a hard situation when you have 2 defenders down there, but he was able to draw that foul.
And first free throw off the mark from Howard. We'll see what Howard can do now.
And he gets that one to go.
So now heading the other way. Powers gets it to Thingwall. Now up by just 2 points. Kapaun looking to extend their lead. Now Powers with an open look. Takes the baseline, kicks it back out, but no. The referee says stepped out of bounds, and it'll be South possession. Now Kaden Neal checks in as Howard heads to the bench. And forgot to mention a minute earlier, Maxwell Keller enters the game as Corbin Johnson now heading to the sideline. But Sophia, I would say an eventful start to the second half here. What are your big takeaways?
Yeah, both teams trying to pick up the pace. They're trying to set the tone. And shot there by Maboul. But anyways, both teams playing, good offense. They're scoring. There's not a lot of, the defense isn't terrible from either team, but both teams are being able to score, almost every possession, get a good shot or something like that. And so the beginning of this quarter has been more of an offensive threat.
And no one can seem to get that to go. as Kapaun with multiple opportunities underneath the basket, but regardless, that will end up being South ball going the other way. And so now heading the other way with it. That's Ransom with it on the wing, guarded by Keller. Now back to Neal. And good movement here by South, creating some mismatches. Now Camden Neal loses it, gets it back, and tries to get to Hargrave, but Hargrave loses it. Now heading their way inside to Ancio, and that is good. And it'll be an and one opportunity. Great feed there from Powers, as that sets up Ancio for the layup, and he hits the line for potential three-point play.
Yeah, and great job by Ancio running the floor and sprinting down there to make himself available.
And so Howard comes back in as looks like Baker heads to the bench. You know, Ancio missed 2 free throws in the first half. Let's see if he can get something here. And he does. Able to convert there. Brings the Kapaun lead back up to 2. And now Mabul gets to Howard. Howard tries to find
Looks like Mr.
Ransom.
Schraub.
Yeah, I was going to say, he tries to find Ransom, but instead finds Mr. Schraub in the stands. Now Thingball finds Keller. Keller inside feed. Now back out to Thingball. Thingball, that is no good. Off the front iron, ends up in the hands of Hargrave. Now Ransom gets it to Hargrave. Back up to Howard. And Sophia, something I've really noticed here in the third quarter, Ancio has done a great job. I mean, going back to the second quarter even, Ancio's done a great job of limiting the production from Hargrave. I mean, Hargrave had a number of great drives down the court, number of great possessions, especially on offense. And so Ancio's done a great job defensively, really stepping up and limiting his productivity.
Yeah, he's doing great. Whenever Hargrave flashes in the middle, he's fronting him. And, you know, Ancio, as athletic a guy as he is, South isn't going to try to risk throwing it over him. And so that's the right decision to do, going there by fronting him.
Now Ancio intercepts the ball and will make the basket, but referee says it's on the floor. And Manning will pick up his first. It'll be his team's second team foul. Now Keller, nice move, gets an open shot, no good. That ends up out of bounds.
Job by Charles there getting the rebound, but it looks like a foul's going to be called.
Oh, yeah.
Manning.
Now it'll be Manning's second. So he picks up 2 quick ones. Now Corbin Johnson inbound for Kapaun. Johnson finds Keller in the corner. Keller drives, kicks out to Powers. Powers inside to Ancio. Ancio, way up good. And now Ancio really starting to heat up. Already has 10 points. Now that makes it 12. Now Hargrave puts up a shot. It's an air ball. And some great defense from Kapaun. And now a technical foul going to be given.
Looks like technical on Tegan Charles, the Crusaders.
It looks like he must have said something the referee didn't like. Regardless, looks like Mabul will be shooting the technical shots for South here. Let's see what he can do. First one's good.
And there always seems so much more pressure, Gabe, when you're at the free throw line by yourself.
Really in a world of his own right now. Able to convert on the second one as well. And Sophia, this would be a big swing, a potential 4-point swing here for South. And actually with a chance to take the lead. So we'll see what they can do here.
Huge.
Now Manning surveys. Gets to Mabul. Mabul drives. And great defense there by Ansel, but now foul going to be called. Looks like he got him with his body.
That is Ansio's second.
Team foul number 2 as well. Or no, excuse me, team foul number 3. As I forgot about the technical foul being added on. So now Mabul just got done making the technical free throws. See if he can make 2 more. Makes the first. Now Dominic Shiley checks in for Max Keller. Now Mabul with a chance to tie things up, Sophia. I mean, just as Kapaun was looking like they were really grabbing this game by the horns. Now giving South a chance to not only even it, but really a momentum shift and a chance to take control of this game.
Yeah, and it's hard when you're the team that gets the technical call on you for Kapaun, just basically being able to give South those free points. And now, as you said, South with the momentum, and they're going to look to use it.
And now after a defensive stop, South with a real opportunity to take the lead here. Inside feed to Hardgrave. Forces it out. Now Neal. No good on three-point make. And now rebound goes to Dominic Shibley. And now Hardgrave going to be called for the foul. Team foul number 4.
And the ref looked like he was watching Hardgrave there, making sure he wasn't going to say anything. But regardless, it'll be Kapaun's ball.
Now up court, that's Shibley. Gets to the thing ball. And for those of you who are tuning in to the Kapaun broadcast tonight rather than the KU State game, as Ancio able to convert on that layup. And it's a little update here. KU currently up by 15, 70-55.
There's about 10 minutes remaining in the second half.
And now a great play by Ancio. Really sets up Kapaun in a good spot here. Now Shibley gets it over to Powers. Now Ancio's pass intercepted. As now Howard gets it over to Manning. Manning takes a shot from 3. That's no good. This comes up just short. And now Shibley has it. Gets it over to Thingwall. Johnson back to Powers. Back to Shibley now inside to Ancio before going back out to Thingwall. And Kapaun just passing it around. Really trying to take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, it looks like they're looking for a last shot now.
And now Johnson. Three-pointer's good. And now a chuck at the backboard is no good, as it will be 41-36 as we enter the final quarter of play. And Sophia, what are some things you saw from Kapaun, and South included in that, in the second half that you really didn't see in the first half?
Yeah, I think both teams, this kind of started to happen in the second quarter, but both teams playing pretty solid defense. But I think really what I've noticed is a step up on the offensive end. Kapaun's been running the ball a little bit more, trying to get those transition points. South's been doing a great job. They did in the first half too, just moving the ball around, looking for those, for those threes or trying to get it inside. And so all of them both teams doing a great job on the offensive end. And looking at that technical call, South did a great job of taking advantage of that. But then Kapaun not letting that deter them from anything. The ball game was tied, and then Kapaun went up by 5, and so now they're leading 41-36 to head into the fourth quarter.
And so we'll get right back into the action here. As looks like Kapaun will have possession. Or no. Excuse me, it looks like South will have possession.
And here on the bench, looks like Will Thankful may have turned an ankle or something as he's getting his ankle taped right now.
And now loose ball. And looks like timeout going to be called by South. Now both sides will have 3 timeouts remaining. Sophia, tough loss for you guys here tonight.
Yes, it was.
You were in it. You were in it for a lot of the game. Just tough luck at the end there. South went on a pretty decent run and kind of got away from you guys. But kind of walk me through. What was it like playing here tonight's game?
I thought as a team we played pretty aggressive. We weren't just letting them walk all over us. Obviously, South is a very good team. They were hitting a lot of their threes, and that's always hard to defend. But I think another thing our team trying to work on is just getting those rebounds, trying to stop the other teams from getting second chance points. But yeah, it was a fun game, honestly, and a good challenge for our team, and being in those situations where we need to, try to fight back from a deficit, and we cut it close. Quite a few times, so I was proud of how we never gave up.
And there you go, from the team star senior. And now Maboul. Shot going to be off the mark and rebounded by Johnson. Heading the other way with it is Keller up to Shibley. Now underneath the basket, that's Ancion. And Sophia, we talked about how fast that third quarter went by, and a lot of that is because they just, both sides did a great job of keeping the ball moving. There weren't a lot of fouls, not sloppy basketball at all. And just not a lot of stoppage in play. And there's a stoppage right here, but just not a lot of stoppages here in tonight's game. Not a lot of time for breaks, just really high-intensity, fast-paced basketball.
Yeah, and those games are sometimes tough because the game can slip away from you, without even knowing it when it's super fast-paced, both teams going back and forth. And so... but it's also, a good thing to get on those runs and get those, or have momentum.
And a crafty shot by Shibley is no good. And, Sophia, I feel like there's a lot of crafty players on this team.
There is.
Shibley being one of them. And Brooks Powers, I feel like is almost a definition of a creative, especially scorer. He does a great job of just his layup package. He has a lot of moves he can go to. And with his passing as well, just great creativity, especially from Powers.
Yeah, I agree. And also, he's got great basketball IQ, Hargrave scoring there. But as I was saying, Powers, he sees the floor really well, and he's going to find the open guy. He's going to find those gaps where he can score, where others can score. And he's just a great team player.
And now Howard finds Ransom. And after the steal, it looks like Maboul taking it down, and that is no good. Great rebound by Baker. But Baker's shot, the rebound ends up in the hands of Powers, and heading it away with it. Here's Johnson. Now here comes Kapaun. Keller in trouble. Finds Johnson. And tipped out of bounds by Ransom.
And now Tegan Charles and Will Thingwall heading back into the game.
And of course, Charles re-entering after that technical earlier. We'll see how he handles that. Sophia, have you ever received a technical foul as a player?
Maybe in middle school. I might have in middle school one time. I don't remember exactly, but
Now, do you actually not remember, or are you just kind of?
no, like I don't. I feel like I did receive one, but I don't remember why or anything like that.
Maybe it was for dunkings. You know, in the middle school league, you cannot dunk.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of one of the reasons I've become a dunking pacifist, and you know, that just negative connotation towards it. You know, receiving a technical for a dunk is just something you know, lives in my head subconsciously. As Will Thingwall drains a three, but yeah, so I think you're right. Now that I think about it.
In fact, was, you know, from the free throw line.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan, Dr. J
and
style.
They're like, you can't do that. Like, I guess.
Had to go out with a bang in 8th grade. You know?
Yeah. It was well worth the tech.
Of course, of course. But now, heading the other way. And Johnson gets it to Keller. Keller for three. That is no good. Rebounded by Antio. Antio with the putback. That is no good off the right iron. Now Ransom. And now Mabul for three. That is no good. Definitely a spark that South could have used. Now here's Ransom. Ransom able to hit it from three. That cuts the lead now to 5, Sophia.
Yeah, South not ready to go away yet.
But Sophia, I mean, this is a tight game, and Kapaun really, you know, starting to pull away, but South, of course, getting that three to kind of bring it back. And now another stop by South. But I was just going to say, I mean, South isn't in any kind of hurry. I mean, they have 4 minutes to play with. They don't have to truck up any threes. And, you know, that is exactly what I think they should look for. I mean, those drives to the basket was a good take there by Ransom. And he will head to the line for 2 shots. As Keller picks up his second personal foul. That'll be team foul number 4.
And it's always good when you're behind to get points when the clock is not ticking. But, however, it looks like it was on the floor, so South will be receiving the ball as an inbound.
Now Ransom. Gets it to Bull in the corner, but now back out. And this, I mean, it's like exactly what I said earlier. So, I mean, they don't have to. They're not in any kind of hurry. South didn't have to chuck up a three there, but still a decent look there from Ransom.
Yeah, and sometimes as a player, when you're down, you feel rushed and you're like, oh, I got to score right now, especially, you know, at the end of the game when it's in 4th quarter. But like you were saying, South, they just need to take their time, run some offense, get the best shot possible.
And Baker there misses his alley-oop look. And here comes Kapaun facing a 4-on-5. South leaves Thingwall open, but unfortunately Thingwall unable to convert. And now still loose ball. Antio able to gather it, gets it underneath. A nice pass to Tegan Charles. However, now the kick back to Antio, unable to convert for anything either. And now a third missed shot there for Kapaun. Definitely, you know, an empty offensive drive that should have ended in a point.
Yeah, not something you see all the time from Kapaun. Usually, you know, second or third try, they'll knock the shot down, but still very aggressive by them. It looks like Kapaun is going to be taking a timeout. And so now, Coach Eck trying to regroup his team here as Kapaun is up by 5. South going to be at the free throw line here, and I'm sure Coach Chuck Gunter for South, trying to create a little plan here for South to try to, get back in the game. They're only down by 5. Obviously want to hit these free throws right here, and then it's a one-possession game.
Exactly right, Sophia. And I mean, it's 5 points is a very, very, overcomable deficit, I should say. And so, Sophia, if you've been in these situations before, this season you've had these situations, walk me through what it's like as a player.
Yeah, you really have to focus on the little things in these situations. Like right now, South, great free throw shooting this game. But Kapaun, wanting to focus on, getting those rebounds, getting the ball up the floor, handling the pressure. So the main thing is just taking your time towards the end of the game, not being in a rush, and just playing like you know how to play, just relaxing.
Exactly right. Johnson gets it over to Ancio, and Kapaun only up by 3, really looking to get something out of this offensive drive. Now Ancio fighting for the rebound, ends up in the hands of Thingvall, actually. And now Thingvall will be fouled, and he'll head to the line for 2 shots with a chance to make it a 2-possession game.
Yeah, these free throws right here are huge. Kapaun so far tonight only 2 for 5. Haven't been at the line a lot. So now Thingvall with a chance to hit them down.
Thingvall's first shot off the mark. And so we'll see what he can do with his second. That one's good. As I said earlier, that makes it a 2-possession game. And so let's see what South can do here in need of points as we cross over to the final 2 minutes of the game. Now Ransom, way up, no good. Rebound goes to Johnson. Another hustle rebound there for Johnson. Now Thingvall, another take and another basket.
Great
Extends
finish.
the lead to 6.
Yeah, and Thingvall, not full strength. It looks like he's, limping just a little bit, but still great job of him finishing that basket.
Now Ransom, 3-point shot, no good. Rebounded by Charles that time. Now, here's where some of the time management comes in. Kapaun's trying to slow it down a little bit. And Sophia, this is a great opportunity to really slow down. And actually, this is going to be a foul by Howard. And Sophia, if you're South, are you fouling quite yet? Are you resorting to the quick foul quite yet?
I don't know. I know if I was playing, I do not think we'd be fouling this early. However, maybe they just wanted to, stop the ball, regroup on the defensive end, and try to, make Kapaun go from, a standstill.
Exactly right. They did have 1 foul to give, so I guess when the time does come, they will be ready to foul and get them to the line. And now, under a minute left to go in the game. Let's see what Kapaun can do. Johnson taking his time.
And, of course, there's no shot clock in high school athletics here in Kansas. And so, Kapaun able to take as much time as possible. But now, Will Thingvall will be heading to the line for a 1-1.
Exactly right, and so a interesting situation here. And Sophia, getting into, these tough situations, can you kind of walk me through what it's like to be in these situations? You see there, Thingvall misses it.
Yeah, right there, South really needed to get that rebound. They just gave Cape a chance, and they scored another 2 points. Makes it much harder. But Howard able to score there, and now South looking to foul again as there's 27 seconds remaining.
Exactly. It is a 6-point deficit. So theoretically, it will be. If South's able to get the rebound here, they could, chuck up a quick three, make it a 3-point game, and then repeat the process.
Yeah, and South being smart, fouling right away, as Kapaun's free throw percentage so far this game has not been great, but Johnson quieting that and now making that free throw. But yeah, it's always hard. You want to foul to stop the clock, but obviously, teams are going to try to knock down those free throws and extend the lead even more.
So now Johnson. He's already made it a 3-possession game. So now be another foul, and definitely not what South wanted there, because this now sends Ancio to the line. And Ancio's first shot on the money.
Set to go.
And so, Sophia, I imagine he'll at least try to intentionally miss it here. We'll see what he decides to do. Nope, he makes that one.
No.
And so this will be a quick possession here for South. And this is a lot of dribbling. Finds the open man. That's Ransom. Ransom with the made three, so not quite over yet.
Timeout going to be called by South. And yeah, you never know. There's games where teams can come back from an 8-point deficit with this amount of time left. Crazy things can happen.
So now down by only 6. So back to the situation we discussed earlier, where it's a defensive rebound, off the free throw, and getting it down the court. But that being said, South. So Kapaun not quite at the line yet, but when they do go to the line, it will be the double bonus. So.
Yeah. So that's also a tough situation, but South is going to have to foul him right away. Obviously, they want to go for a steal from the inbound pass, but if they can't get that, they do need to foul right away.
And so now South and Kapaun each with 2 timeouts remaining. Now Howard's able to get it in, and now a foul. So now Johnson will have it. First one made. Second one made as well. And so yet another timeout going to be called. This time, however, it will be Kapaun's timeout, which is an interesting thought. But I guess they can potentially set up a press here and apply some pressure. But I don't know.
Good time maybe for a learning experience. Maybe Coach Eck trying to teach him something here in this timing situation. That's always important to use the opportunities you can to learn something from the game, especially like when you're in the game. That's very helpful for the team.
I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see some substitutes. Maybe Paul Big Bird Bloomer.
That is a crowd favorite.
I doubt it is happening, but one
Yeah.
can dream. One can dream. And so, we will see what the final seconds hold right now. As Ransom shot off, no good, and that will be out of bounds as it hit the top wire there. And so Kapaun will have it out of bounds, and Sophia, really, if they get the ball in bounds, it should be pretty much over. And it is.
Yeah, looks like it is.
And so with that, final score 56-48. Kapaun now moves to 13-1 on the season, and Sowie falls to 500, now 7-7. Sophia, a great win by the boys here tonight, and join us next week for 2 straight broadcasts. Tuesday night against East at home, and of course the Holy War on Friday against Bishop Carroll at home as well. But for now, I've been Gabriel Breidenbach.
I'm Sophia Jamino. Have a great night.